Prescott Van Meyer III, sommeliering from home. In today's episode, a Scotch you would absolutely refer to as blended Cutty Sark. So, Cutty Sark has a reputation for being a very reasonable Scotch. Is it the top shelf variety? No. No, it is not. Now, legend has it that this was the particular Scotch of choice for LBJ. That's right, President Lyndon B. Johnson. In fact, when he traveled around the world, he made sure a pallet of this was with him at all times. I'm sure that came across really great to all the other dignitaries that he met along the way. So you would not consider this a top shelf Scotch. I mean, it knows that the top shelf is there. Might even have some friends up there, but it is not in that club. It's a middle shelfer. And if you ask me, there's nothing wrong with being a middle shelfer. Nothing at all. It's okay to not be the best or the most successful or the son who makes his mother proud. Anyways, Cutty Sark, blended Scotch. This is distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland. You know, seeing this, looks like a vintage bottle of Old Spice. Probably tastes like it too. There is something kind of romantic about holding this bottle. Wanting to crack it open, throw some back, wander the local city park, scream obscenities at the squirrels. On the bottle, it says since 1923, so I'm excited to see what sort of centennial celebration they're gonna have next year if they decide to do that, and if they make it that far. So been around for 99 years. Now this Scotch was named after a clipper ship of the same name. Let's open it up and see what the spirit of adventure smells like. Decent aroma. Has that really nice, leathery, peaty flavor coming off. And I'll be honest, I'm getting just a little bit of lemon coming off that too. A little bit of lemon and maybe even some vanilla. Now that lemon, good for battling scurvy if you're on the high seas. Interestingly enough, this was bottled first in 1923. And a mere 10 years later, the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster occurred. So, probably by people smashed on Cutty Sark. I'm getting notes of wanting to wear a kilt to your wedding, but your 1/4 Scottish fiancée Abby refused to let you do that, saying, and I quote, "You can't pull it off." But Duncan can. Oh, that giant red-headed monster of a man. Thighs like tree trunks. Whereas my thighs are like birch. Oh, Duncan and Abby, boy, they really hit it off in those days. That was back when Abby's love language used to be physical touch, which quickly changed after we got married to gifts. Just receiving gifts. Just receiving gift after gift after gift. I'm gonna need that cap. Or will I? Who knows? Already not the best walk down memory lane. But okay, let's give it a pour and look at the color. Nice golden amber to it. Very light. So it kind of resembles a little bit of the flavor profile I was getting from the aroma. A little bit more subtle than some of the Scotches you get, which are very smoky or very peaty. This was actually pretty nuanced. Let's give it a sniff, see if the glass opened it up a little bit. Getting a little bit more of that richness in the Scotch. Almost what you would say raisiny. Definitely some hints of maybe some allspice in there. Anise. Definitely reminds me of Mr. Schultz a bit. Between his schnapps and his Scotch, Mr. Schultz, caregiver extraordinaire. All right, well, let's give it a taste. Gotta say, has some really nice licorice coming through. That moss has a pretty short finish in it. Finish that does not linger, does not last very long. And as someone who has been accused of that very thing, I'm not gonna hold it against it. Some people like a short finish. Let's give it another taste. Well, I gotta say, I'm getting a pretty good deal with this. I mean, I love a really good Scotch and soda. And with this, you could almost make one. Very close. So close. Oh, Cutty Sark, I'm rooting for you. So who would be drinking this? Well, your grandfather. Anyone on a fixed income. Anyone named Glenn. I would pair this with cured meats and cheeses, porridges, and mutton. Can't get enough mutton and Cutty Sark. Just one on top of the other, all evening long. There can be only one. So Sean Connery from, it's a Highlander reference. Highlander. Some movie in Scotland. They're all chopping each other's heads off. Whole movie. You gotta chop some guy's head off, and I guess you eat his soul or something. You should check it out. Hopefully they won't remake that one, because the first one was a masterpiece. No need to remake it, Hollywood. Come up with an original idea. Please, for God's sake. Original idea would be like a sommelier traveling the globe with his cat. And they fight crime, obviously. Crimes against palates. You know, people who like Cheez Whiz. Just suck them. That's a pretty good idea for a movie if you think about it. Fighting bad taste. One knuckle at a time. People say that I don't drink enough in these. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get more drinking in. My New Year's resolution was more drinking. I think it's gonna happen. I think the stars have aligned, folks. God, that fifth shot went down smooth, though, I'll be honest. Very smooth. Maybe it is a top shelf. Now that I think about it, I can see it. Are you lonely? Are you lonely? Have some friends. You know how you got beer goggles at the end of the night? Well, there's almost like beverage goggles, where the more you have of something, the better it tastes. Oh man, it works with everything. You know, Scotch, bourbon, whiskey, gin, tequila, and Malort. Not Malort. Not Malort. Definitely not Malort. But this, yes! Look at my little wooden guy. Kind of looking ladylike today, if I'm being honest. Is that the Scotch talking? I don't know. Do you want a drink? Yeah, I'll buy you a drink. Why not? It's just Cutty Sark. It's nothing fancy. Cheers. Doop. To world peace. Man, I could use some mutton right now. Come here often? We should do this more often. I feel like we don't do this enough. What is your name, by the way? You don't have a name. Wooden Man doesn't have a name, folks. So comment below what we should name Wooden Man. Make it a good one. Vote on it with each other, just in the comments, and someone's gonna win, because there can be only one name for Wooden Man. It was a Highlander reference. Okay, rating. Well, I'll be honest with you, it gets better the longer you drink it, but starting off, I do remember, that's how I felt about it. But it was still pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a 63. That's based on my rating from 0 to 100. So 63 is pretty good. It's over halfway to something, to great and good. So it's halfway there. Cutty Sark, Clipper Ship, 1923. Happy 99 years.